Hayley, with her innocent and sincere appearance, can easily catch anyone's eye, but underneath that shell is a soul full of cynicism and scheming. She is always hungry for attention and power, but this does not mean that she can be completely manipulative like Leslie. Leslie, although a bit crazy, is a very intelligent and sharp person in building relationships to achieve her goals. On the contrary, Hayley is a delusional soul, a person who is always self-centered and thinks that this world needs to revolve around her. However, if Hayley really lied about her pregnancy, then she may be a bigger schemer than anyone could imagine. This situation is especially dangerous, because if Hayley really created a fake pregnancy drama to attract attention from Bill, or even to break up the Dupree family, the consequences will not be simply a mental wound. It could lead to the complete collapse of everything this family has built over the years. Hayley is not just a simple saboteur. She may be the one who plans the worst, willing to destroy everything just to achieve what she thinks is right for herself. However, an important question needs to be asked. Is Hayley aware of the deep discord between Leslie and Bill? The two have not simply been at odds in a personal relationship, but also a battle of power, dominance, and revenge. Ted's affair has caused a deep wound in Bill's heart, and Leslie's appearance in the past has created a never-ending war between them. Bill has chased Leslie out of town because of the secrets and intrigues she has caused. Not only is he not a fan of Leslie, but he also sees her as a sworn enemy. Therefore, even if Hayley intends to cooperate with Leslie, it is definitely a wrong decision. The relationship between Bill and Leslie is too tense, and if Hayley is not careful, she may fall into a trap that she created without knowing it. The story between Hayley and Leslie is actually more complicated than what can be imagined. Hayley, with her delusions, may think that befriending Leslie will bring benefits, or at least help her build power in the Dupree family. However, this is a bad idea because if Bill finds out, his opposition will not stop at words. This tension can push things further, leading to uncontrollable situations where people will be faced with a choice between family loyalty and personal intrigue. The attack plan that Hayley and Leslie planned to carry out was something that neither Bill nor the Dupree family could know. This was a dangerous plot, carefully hidden and carried out in the dark. Their goal was not simply revenge, but also a power struggle within the family. Leslie, with her sinister nature, planned to attack Danny, putting her in danger, in order to force Bill to leave the Dupree family. This was not only a war of emotions, but also a war of dark conspiracies, where every step brought betrayal and suffering. But the problem here was not just creating a fake scene to put Danny in danger, but also that Bill, in a state of stress, would be drawn into a spiral of secrets that he could not escape. Even though Bill is a powerful figure in the Dupree family, when faced with attacks from those he thought were his friends, can he stand firm? Will the truth about the pregnancy, about the relationship between Hayley and Leslie, force Bill to face difficult decisions, forcing him to choose between the love of his family and protecting himself from these conspiracies? Everything is gradually opening up, and the Dupree family will have to face greater challenges than ever. The threat from manipulators like Hayley and Leslie will push everyone into unforeseen situations, where they will have to decide for themselves. Can they protect their family, or will they all be destroyed by the dark conspiracies they have long nurtured? And the biggest question now is, can Hayley control everything when things start to fall apart? Or will she be the one to pay the price for what she has created? Does she realize that by lying and manipulating, she is not only hurting those around her, but also pushing herself into a dead end? These internal battles will not stop at words and intrigue. When family relationships are violated and betrayed, the consequences will be deep wounds that are difficult to heal. The story between Leslie and Bill is not just a relationship of people who used to love each other, but now, it is a relationship tied to deep hatred. The betrayal between them did not happen in a moment but accumulated over many years. Bill, with his strong and powerful personality, can never forgive the deception and secrets that Leslie has kept. She is not only a betrayed wife, but also an enemy in Bill's eyes, who has hurt his family in an unforgivable way. Their relationship is a never-ending war, where every step is filled with hatred and revenge. Meanwhile, Hayley, whether she wants it or not, will inevitably have to face Bill and this tense relationship. With a scheming and complacent soul, she did not realize that her plan would not be just a small game but a relentless battle. When Hayley began to conspire with Leslie, she was lost in a complex web with Bill at the center. If Bill found out that Hayley and Leslie had created a plot to destroy his Dupree family life, he would never forgive her. The pregnancy deception or even the attack on Danny would be a huge shock to him, and Bill would definitely not stand idly by. He may decide to eliminate those who pose a danger to his family, and Hayley will not only be a woman who is used but also an enemy in his eyes. It can be said that Leslie is cleverly exploiting Hayley's blind jealousy to achieve her goals. She knows that Hayley may be drawn into a revenge that she does not fully understand. Leslie is not only someone who wants to take revenge on Bill for the suffering she has endured, but also someone who takes advantage of Hayley's unstable emotions to satisfy her dark goals. Hayley may think that she is cooperating with Leslie to gain recognition and power, but in reality, she is being drawn into a conspiracy that she cannot control. If their plan succeeds, not only Bill but the entire Dupree family will be overthrown, and Hayley will become a part of that destruction. Hayley and Leslie's plan is not simply to create chaos in the Dupree family, but also a grand conspiracy, a perfect strategy to push Bill out of their lives. One of the important parts of this plan may be to create a fake scene, causing Danny to encounter a dangerous situation, possibly an accident, to threaten Hayley's pregnancy. The purpose is not only to force Bill to leave the family, but also to put him in a difficult situation, where he will feel deceived and betrayed by the very people he trusted. Leslie and Hayley may even go further, creating a situation that causes Bill to denounce Danny, sending her to prison on false charges. With these dark schemes, Leslie and Hayley may gradually be exposed as their plot begins to unfold. However, will they be smart enough to keep everything from Bill and the rest of the Dupree family? Or will things soon come to light as the trails of deception and betrayal become clear? No matter how elaborate and secretive their plans are, once internal conflicts and suspicions begin to arise, the Dupree family will no longer be a united family. Leslie and Hayley's actions will inevitably send everyone into a spiral of suspicion, division, and conflict. Everyone will have to face the biggest question of all. Who is really behind it all, and can they stop it before it's too late? The danger lies in the fact that the complexity of the Dupree family relationships is not limited to the loss of trust, but extends to the breakdown of relationships between family members. If Hayley and Leslie are not careful enough, they will not only destroy the Dupree family, but also create an irreparable battle, where everyone will be drawn into a psychological war and revenge without end. When the truth about the conspiracies and betrayals begins to emerge, everything will become more chaotic than ever, and the Dupree family will never be able to return to the way it was. As Hayley and Leslie's plots gradually come to fruition, the situation becomes more tense than ever. Their every move is meticulously calculated, but not always goes according to plan. Hayley, who is already immersed in a world of illusions, cannot realize the truth that she is just a pawn in Leslie's chessboard. But at this moment, Leslie's hatred for Bill is more evident than ever. What she does is not only to get revenge on Hayley but also to get revenge on Bill, whom she always considers the culprit in destroying her life. Hayley is increasingly drawn into the spiral of dark conspiracies, and her mistakes make the situation more dangerous. She begins to suspect Leslie but does not dare to face the truth. Meanwhile, Leslie does not feel any disturbance at all. She continues to manipulate Hayley, forcing her to believe that they are fighting together for a common ideal, to get revenge on Bill and the Dupree family together. But when a major event occurs, everything begins to collapse. Hayley and Leslie's plan seems to have followed an irreversible trajectory, but suddenly, an important trace is missed, and it pushes everything to the point of no return. While following Leslie's trail, Bill accidentally discovered some important information, making him suspicious of her plot. He decided to start investigating, even secretly following Leslie and Hayley, and when he discovered the truth, his rage flared up like a storm. But the betrayal did not stop there. Both Bill and Danny were caught up in a dangerous game that they could not have imagined. Leslie, with every carefully calculated plot, did not hesitate to do everything to push Danny into a deadlock. This danger came not only from lies but also from strong and hurtful attacks. Danny, who had always stood firm and protected the Dupree family, now faced false accusations, with threats from the very people she once trusted. What she had done to protect her family seemed to be passing by in the silence of betrayal. Hayley, despite her dark games, eventually realized that she was losing control. Not only did she lose Leslie's support, she also realized that Leslie was the one behind all the attacks, who had used Hayley's emotions and greed to create a dangerous game that she could not escape. In a decisive moment, Hayley began to doubt herself, realizing that she had become part of the machine that destroyed the family she wanted to protect. Bill, after discovering Leslie and Hayley's plot, decided to confront them. The confrontation between Bill and Leslie became tense and fierce. Words of no return were spoken, family relationships, love and loyalty were torn apart. But what Bill did not expect was that Leslie was not afraid at all, but only looked at him with cold eyes, as if all betrayal was inevitable. Meanwhile, Hayley, forced to choose between two choices, feels crushed by unforgivable mistakes. None of them can escape the quagmire they have created. The secrets that each of them has kept hidden in their hearts are now out of control. Everything is exposed, and not only the Dupree family but the whole world will suffer the consequences. Hayley and Leslie will pay the price for what they have done, and no matter how hard they try, the wounds in the Dupree family will never heal. As the story unfolds, the price that everyone must pay becomes increasingly clear. Not only the loss of love, but also the collapse of the relationships they have built for so long. Every decision, every action becomes a painful step, leading to an irreversible end. Ultimately, the Dupree family will have to face the brutal truth about the traitors and the dark plans, and whether they can overcome this war or not will be the biggest question. The hatred, betrayal, and revenge in the Dupree family has never been stronger. When the manipulators are fully exposed, everyone will have to face the inevitable price. The tension in the Dupree household reaches a boiling point as the plans that Leslie and Hayley have laid out begin to fall apart. Bill, who is used to dealing with tense situations, cannot let this go easily. After discovering the truth about Leslie and Hayley's plot, Bill's anger is not simply the anger of a man who has been betrayed, but also an indescribable disappointment in the very people he once trusted. Not only does he feel deceived, but he also realizes that the Dupree household, in which he has placed so much hope and effort, can be completely destroyed by the dark plots of those he once considered close to him. Bill decides to take action, and his action is not an easy decision. He is determined to confront Leslie directly, to show her that what she is doing will not be forgiven. Meanwhile, Hayley, despite her strong suspicions about Leslie, cannot escape the trap she has set for herself. At this point, everything seems to be against Hayley. Not only is she drawn into Leslie's plot, but she also has to face the consequences of her own actions. She can try to make excuses or find a way to escape, but eventually, the dark truth will be revealed. The confrontation between Bill and Leslie becomes tense and fierce. Bill is no longer patient, no longer gentle or compromising. He confronts Leslie not only for what she has done, but also because she is the one who has destroyed everything he has ever built. Bill frankly demands that Leslie answer for all the things she has hidden, for the plots she has set up. Leslie, no longer afraid, just smiles faintly at Bill's anger. She knows that no matter what happens, she will still be the winner in this battle. But Bill, despite his anger, shows no weakness. He is determined not to let Leslie get away with what she has done. While the confrontation between Bill and Leslie is at its most intense, Hayley, standing in a corner, begins to realize that things cannot continue like this. She begins to feel tired of the games she is participating in, the power struggles that she cannot control. She realizes that what she thought was a way to regain power for herself is now pushing her into an abyss from which she cannot escape. Hayley cannot bear it any longer. Guilt gradually rises in her heart, But can she stop before it is too late? Leslie and Hayley's schemes not only put the Dupree family in a difficult situation, but also hurt the people around them. As all the secrets begin to be revealed, endless wars between the members of the Dupree family break out. Each family member reacts differently, but all are inevitably torn apart by feelings and trust. They are faced with the big question: can their family be saved, or is it too late? Leslie and Hayley's betrayal not only hurts Bill, but also plunges the Dupree family into a huge psychological crisis. Secrets are exposed, relationships are severed, and everything seems to be falling apart. Bill has no choice but to face difficult decisions. The sins of Hayley and Leslie not only threaten his family but also destroy everything he has built for so long. As things come to a head, Hayley realizes that she can no longer live in a lie. The truth about the pregnancy, about her exploitation, about the power games that she cannot control all begin to collapse on her. How can she protect herself in the face of Bill's wrath? And can Leslie, her former ally, continue to protect Hayley as things come crashing down? Ultimately, the Dupree family faces a big decision. Can they forgive their betrayers, or will they let things fall apart beyond repair? Can love and loyalty overcome dark plots, or will betrayal send everyone into an abyss of no return? These questions will send the Dupree family down an unpredictable path, where they will face not only enemies outside, but also enemies within their own family. In the end, will they be able to unite to overcome all difficulties, or will their division be the deciding factor in their downfall?